All right, guys, here we are on Atlantis Spaceship, and at the 12 o'clock position in the red from the team Alternate Attack, it is DarKFoRcE. That's a lot of random capitalization in that name. And at the top of the map, at the 12 o'clock position, is actually not the other player. I don't know why I messed that one up. But at the real 12 o'clock position, we have our blue Protoss player from Acer. It is Elfi.
Yes, indeed. So PvZ played out on Atlantis Spaceship, and this map gets very, 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 very interesting because it's such a long walk distance that it's not too bad to try and take 3 bases on, but then there's so much open distance that's not detectable by any Xel'Naga towers. You have to have very diligent map control that you can get forward warp-ins in pretty easy. A lot of space around the side, so Stargate play works pretty well as well. So this certainly makes for very dynamic PvZs.
Yeah, well, I mean, DarKFoRcE is going to need to worry about the same thing that we saw our last Zerg player worry about on a large map in Metropolis. He's going to need to make sure he gets a lot of scouting in. Cannot let a probe put down a forward pylon, or, you know, if you do, you need to be there to kill it really quickly. But, yeah, gateway in the main. Interesting.
Yep, not going to gateway expand outside of this, just throwing it up there, just like, hey, what's going on? Am I playing a Zerg player? Maybe a Protoss player? Who knows?
You
this
know,
is a gateway.
More and more Protoss players have been doing things like this. Maybe not putting their gateway right in the main like that, but, you know, at least gateway expanding instead. And it's a direct counter to what Zerg players have been going for in that 3-hatch build.
But DarKFoRcE is going to go ahead and hatch first and no spawning pool. So this is, are we watching a PvZ from like a year ago?
Longer than that, man. This is like a year and a half, 2 years ago now. There's the spawning pool going down, and Elfi was like, oh, if I would have put down a forge, I could totally cannon rush him. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But nobody does that anymore.
He does pick up on the expansion now, so this is a very crazy game. He can certainly still hint at this. He knows he's not been scouted yet, so he could throw down a pylon, force a few drones off the line, that sort of thing, if he wanted to.
You know, the thing is, though, is with that, it's kind of like a game of chicken, really, where you're kind of like, all right, are you going to cancel? Are you going to cancel? And in the end, the Protoss is usually always the one who has to cancel just because the pylon finishes that much quicker than the hatchery.
Right.
So, yeah, in this case, Elfi probably going to hold off with that. But a lot of players do that with forges, though. And trust me, as a Zerg player, you're like, oh, great, here we go.
Yeah, so DarKFoRcE may even just have a very good read on his opponent, may have known his PvZ style or matched up against him quite a bit as well, so
he might
suspect that this could have happened.
Yeah.
Let's see how much, he pulled everything off of gas, so he had enough for a stalker, and he had enough for his warp gate technology. He's going to have 400 resources in a second.
This is going to be a 4-gate, but it's going to be a Zealot-only 4-gate. This is going to be something I haven't seen this build in forever, man. I mean, and this is really, really, really difficult to deal with if you don't know it's coming, especially if you don't have, like, Ling speed or anything like that. Oh, man. 4, you can go up to 5 gates with this, too. They used to call this the Korean 4-gate because it was really popular on the KR server to just go for only Zealots in a 4-gate. It was big in PvP, but not seen as often in PvZ, but I think this time around it certainly could work. Now we're going to watch Elfi basically spam a whole bunch of pylons. Cross his fingers.
All right, well, here we go.
There we go.
There they are. So pylons are coming up.
Oh, poor DarKFoRcE. I would have never expected this. I don't think any pro Zerg would expect this build.
Much like the Spanish Inquisition, no one sees it coming. So.
And, see, what happens is your opponent just has a ton of pylons in your base. You can't kill them all. And get ready for 5 Zealot waves of warp-ins coming. Gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah, let's see.
Here we go.
Has he turned those into warp gates yet?
He needs to warp in some Zealots.
Yeah, he's not actually surrounded. He didn't start attacking that pylon, unfortunately, and now the Zealots are off the line. A lot more are going to start popping out now. So let's take a look at the unit count. That's going to be more important to us. There are 9 Zerglings on the field, now up to 12, but falling very quickly as the Zealot numbers continue to deal out their damage.
Yeah, not the best engagement, really, for Elfi with those Zealots, I got to say. Would have been better to just fight at the pylons and wait for another warp-in or two, but it looks like he should still be able to overwhelm his opponent. Yeah, 8 drones only for DarKFoRcE right now to 20 probes. Yeah, what a cool little build. It's so silly, but it's always kind of funny when it ends up working.
I'm sure DarKFoRcE isn't too happy.
Well, DarKFoRcE probably isn't laughing too much, but I'm glad we got to see this again. This is one of those builds where I'm like, we'll never see this in pro play again. But it's looking okay. Now Elfi has been kind of baited down the ramp a bit, so he's going to have a hard time getting back up there. Yeah, he's going to have to warp in new units up there. less of them.
Probe actually trying to steal the glory of the Zealot there and moves away.
He's like, I can fight too. GG.
GG. Wow. And this is maybe